Alright, y'all, we here, we ready. CGM the Master, 1236 Empire presents CGMTV. Just woke up, man. You know, I like to get a little bit of reading on Facebook in before I go ahead and make these videos, but you know, I got a lot of topics to discuss. Those will be in different episodes. I'm gonna break them down, but right now I have to discuss this discussion. Ironically, I had to say it that way, but I have to review this discussion about Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz. That's what this specific episode is going to be about. And I want to go ahead and tell people why I feel like Dak is a better player than Carson Wentz, even though people are all like, oh, you're crazy for thinking that, you know, look at the year that he's having this year. People want to forget about Dak's rookie year. Oh, well, he had Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, like, let's not act like Carson Wentz doesn't have a defense this year. His defense is providing top flight defense for Carson Wentz, which Dak Prescott has never had. So Ezekiel Elliott's running compared to Philadelphia's defense, they kind of cancel each other out. So I would like to wait until the next year to go ahead and claim who's better than who, but I think that it's Dak. Dak creates less turnovers. I think that he has more big play ability, not as far as throwing down the field, but I think that when I say big play ability, I'm talking about being able to dissect plays with his arm and his leg and his efficiency. His efficiency is very, very high. Other than the last 3 games, he had been a monster as far as efficiency goes. Also, I mean, this is just me. Sorry. People may make excuses for it. People may feel like, oh, well, I have to say this, that, and the third, but I'm just going to be honest. Carson Wentz does not throw enough yards, man. He does not throw enough yards. Let's get this straight. Let's get one thing straight, oh dog. Carson Wentz does not throw enough yards to be an MVP, to be considered like this all-time great player. People are ready to put him in a position that he's not ready to be in. I have not seen this dude throw for 400, 500 yards in consecutive games. Cam Newton did it his first 2 games in the league. The first 2 games in the league that he ever played, he threw for 400 plus yards. Carson Wentz can't even do that. Like, he can't even do 2 300-yard games. Like, to me, it bugs me how people want to act like this guy is so much more better than what he is. He's a great player. Well, he's not a great player. Let me go back on that. He's a good player that could be great later on down the line. But the success that he's having this year is all predicated around his defense. All predicated around his defense. Because guess what? Carson Wentz would still be the same Carson Wentz that he was last year if his defense was not producing. Just like Dak isn't the same Dak this year because Ezekiel Elliott is not producing like he did last year. And debate me if I'm wrong. Debate me if I'm wrong. So let's get all of this Carson Wentz is better than Dak thing out of here. Let's wait until the 3rd year when everything is on an even kill. Like, everything is ready. Everything is planned. Hopefully, Dallas can build a defense. Hopefully, Philadelphia can get a running game. So then that way we can actually evaluate these 2 players on an even scale. Because right now, people are saying Dak is worse because of the fact of he's getting exposed this year. Ezekiel Elliott isn't there. Look at how badly he's performing. Let's just be honest. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't really balling before he got suspended. I mean, he balled like, I think it was I don't want to say the last 2 games. I don't want to say the last 2 games because I think in those 3 games he had a good game and then he had a bad game and then he turned around and had another good game. Like Ezekiel Elliott's performance has been seesawish in its own right this year, which is also made Dak Prescott have to put on a lot more, has made Dak Prescott have to put more on his shoulders than he should have to. Because you got to think about this. His defense is horrible. I don't care about no Sean Lee. Like, I keep watching Skip Bayless and all of these random people mention Sean Lee. Sean Lee does not make a defense go. Sorry, I hate saying this because, you know, it is what it is. Ray Lewis didn't make a defense go. There was times where Ray Lewis was out, and guess what? That Ravens defense still put up numbers, still did its job. Meaning that if it's a good defense to begin with, that one player isn't going to make the whole defense just this much more remarkable or this much more of a unit. Because, like I said, Sean Lee is no Ray Lewis. No Ray Lewis at any stretch of the imagination. And when Ray Lewis would go down, they would still ball. They would still ball. So all of these analysts talking about, oh, well, Sean Lee is the Ray Lewis of the Baltimore or of the Dallas Cowboys, and look at how Ray Lewis did this. If Ray Lewis did this, then just imagine what Sean Lee does to that horrible defense. Sean Lee doesn't do anything to that horrible defense except for still make it horrible, but look like it has a player on their team. That's all that he does, is make it look like they have a player on their team. He doesn't make the defense any better. He doesn't make things more easier when he's out on the field. I'm sorry. I hate saying that, but it's just the truth. He doesn't make things easier. I mean, he's a better player. He goes out there. He does his job. But their defense has always sucked. It's not like putting Sean Lee into their defense makes them a credible defense. They still suck on defense with or without Sean Lee. Point blank period. And I dare someone to sit back and tell me any differently. They still got destroyed by the Denver Broncos in the second week. It still happened. Sean Lee was there. He was there. So I'm tired of all this Sean Lee talk. Let's kill all this Sean Lee talk. I'm tired of his name. It's getting annoying. But here nor there, I would like just a little bit more time before we start going with this Dak and this Carson Wentz story, because me personally, I think that Dak is a little bit better. I'm not saying that Dak is a whole lot better, but to me, Dak at his worst right now is starting to look like Carson Wentz at his worst last year. Even up to this year, Dak was having a pretty good year. Up until Ezekiel Elliott got suspended. It wasn't a great year. It was pretty good, meaning like decent. Carson Wentz didn't have a decent year last year. Let's not forget last year. That's what's really starting to piss me off with y'all fans. Y'all just want to selectively memorize certain things. Like, oh, well, Carson Wentz, you know what I'm saying? He's balling this year. He's an MVP candidate, which is bullshit. But then y'all want to sit back and turn around and act like, oh, well, you know, he actually did pretty good last year. No, he sucked. He sucked last year. He was trash. Carson Wentz was trash last year. I don't want to hear all of that other garbage. Dude was throwing interceptions. He couldn't get past 250 yards. Dude was trash. If he would have repeated last year, this year, I guarantee you the Philadelphia Eagles would have drafted a quarterback this upcoming draft. Carson Wentz had to prove himself this year. He had to. Because he wouldn't have lasted with another rookie year this year. When he produced his rookie year, if he had produced that again this year, he would not be the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. They would have found someone else. Bet on that. Bet on that. So let's not sit back and say, oh, well, Carson Wentz is light years ahead of Dak Prescott. Because nobody was saying that last year when they were rookies. Nobody was saying that last year. Everyone was like, well, let's give Carson Wentz some time. Even though Dak Prescott was balling out of his mind. Now all of a sudden Carson Wentz is balling out of his mind. Dak Prescott is struggling. And they're like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Carson Wentz is light years ahead of Dak Prescott. Get the hell out of here with that BS, bro. Real talk. Real talk is trash. And I got other things that I'm going to get into. But I wanted to touch that topic real fast because that conversation has to end as of right now. As of right now. And that's what I mean. We're going to get into more of these CGMTV episodes. But, you know, I'm going to come through with my prediction episode. But I wanted to get that out of the way. Peace.